This is Taylor Mace with the Patch Turned Up studio here in Spencer, West Virginia. You're listening to Help Desk with Joe with Joe. This is episode 19 with our podcast series. Make sure to tune in for more podcast information and music.
All right, welcome to Help Desk with Joe, and with me, as always, Joe.
We're back.
We're back. We're here. It's another week, and surprisingly enough, our topic is very similar to 4 or 5 weeks ago when you had this aha moment and decided to throw out some prophecy, and
Right.
it all came true.
Right.
And I have a feeling you're going to fill me in on how it's still coming true.
Right. So today's news topics, the first topic is going to be a little lengthy, so we're cutting it down into 2 topics this week.
Okay.
The first news topic is going to be the coronavirus. I know it's been covered all over the news, and I didn't really want to cover it, but this one's actually something that could change how our day-to-day life goes as far as business goes, so I wanted to cover it. And it's going to be how businesses are changing how they do meetings and meetups and stuff like that. And the next one is going to be how Apple may owe iPhone users some money. So,
Hey, you know, this show has always been about, when you started, the mission was to help out the average consumer with big technological needs and also small personal at-home needs as well.
Right.
And I feel like you're fitting right in that category.
Right.
So good stuff. Which one you want to start with?
Well, let's do the coronavirus first, kind of get it out
goodness.
of the way. Yeah.
We didn't shake hands when you came in, and I think we'll maintain that.
Sounds good to me.
So-
and actually, we had a little discussion before the show, which
Yeah.
you and Sierra was chiming in on, and I'd never heard of people no longer fist bumping or shaking
Hey,
hands.
let's touch feet.
I'm good.
No, come on.
Okay, so how do you
just
do this?
tap feet.
You just tap
There
feet
you
like
go, there
that?
you go.
Okay.
There's
I
our
didn't know if there's
handshake.
some formality or...
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we can do a secret one if you want.
Okay.
But we'll come up with it next time and have it ready for next week.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, that was the weird part. I saw it on like Yahoo News or something where people no longer handshaking in the big cities. They're just touching feet in whatever manner. And that was the courteous, hey, how you doing deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
So hopefully your shoes are clean.
Maybe. They are now.
Hey, we're out in rural West Virginia here, so, you know.
Exactly.
You never know. But coming to you live from Spencer, and we're touching feet.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like those fancy city folks.
That's right.
All right. But anyway, all right. Sorry, I got you clear off track on that. Let's drag you back in. So
Okay.
the coronavirus, and we'll say part 2.
Right.
All right.
The
what's
saga
next?
continues.
The saga. Oh my goodness! Now Star Wars reference. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
How many episodes are there going to be? Let's throw out your. Let's rattle your magic 8-ball. Rub your little genie lamp. How many episodes of this are we going to have?
Hopefully not many more.
Oh goodness.
But the coronavirus is really changing how a lot of the bigger companies are performing their business.
Yep.
And this could actually drill down to, smaller businesses picking up some of the same policies. So this is kind of a heads up in case you're planning on attending any of the events or possibly even job interviews.
Oh yeah. And that's scary. People are having to think in those terms now. Where am I going that's in public or going to be around a lot of people, or if I'm going to travel out of state?
Right.
Because, I know around here we have folks that go to New York City for their winter vacation, just to, or spring breaks coming up for the schools.
Right.
Where are people going to be traveling to? And
Right.
now that's going to be a concern, I feel.
Right. I even seen something on the news yesterday where, like, these travel agency companies are going as far as offering insurance for canceling for any reason. Even before they would not cover illness, but now with the coronavirus, they're even offering, saying, okay, you can cancel because of coronavirus and get a full refund, or the stipulations. But before, illness would not cover that, so
Right.
that's even covering that now.
Ooh, that's getting scary.
Yeah.
So are you going somewhere on spring break?
As of right now, I don't think so.
Making plans to stay home. by
Exactly.
God. Yeah. Guard the fort.
Exactly. So one of the big ones is Amazon, Twitter, and Facebook are not participating in the South by Southwest 2020 conference. And if you're not familiar with that,
I was going to say, I don't even know what that is. Tell me about it.
okay, that's a conference where a lot of companies that deal with interaction and film and music all collaborate. And it's actually going to be the March 13th to the 22nd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's
That's a long period of time, too.
Yeah, so that's coming up within a couple of weeks.
Yep.
So they're already planning ahead, saying within the next couple of weeks, we're not sending to anybody.
Yeah.
So, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. I would not be surprised as the event gets closer if more companies start coming in saying, hey, we're not showing up. Which
That's a big risk because
right,
one person shows up, gets infected, brings it back to your whole company,
right,
and then you get decimated like they're having issues over in the factories in
right,
China.
and this is just a ripple effect because now, there's some companies and vendors that's actually going to send people out just to meet with Facebook and
doing
Twitter.
business. That's important for them.
So now they're going to be pulling back. So now the organizers are going to be less. I mean, it's a huge. So there's going to be the South by Southwest people are going to be impacted financially, and the local economy in that area of the event's going to be impacted tremendously by having these people not being there. So I mean, it's a huge financial impact.
You're right. And you think about all the businesses that have already prepared, because the 13th is next week.
Right.
So they've already prepared, got all their stock in, got all their vendor stuff. If you're a T-shirt salesman, for instance, you've got to already have your shirts made and ready.
Right. Or even just the local restaurant down the street.
Oh, yeah. They've got to prepare and have staff ready and so forth. And then you think in terms of the folks that are trying to sell their products to these big companies that come there.
Right.
That's a shot in the foot, because they're counting on that sale or counting on unveiling their product. And now what do they do?
Right. So they
lost their platform.
Right.
Ooh, that's scary. That has big ramifications.
Right. So part 2 of this one is Google is going as far as for the foreseeable future, they don't have a set time on this. They have stopped all in-person job interviews.
Really?
Yeah, online only through their program, through their Skype competitor called Hangouts. So all job interviews for the foreseeable future fall in line with Facebook, and Amazon's actually implemented this as well.
Do you think this will have a lasting effect? Like, will this become the norm that we start to cut down on public interaction due to things like this? I mean, will they say, well, you know what, that works so well, let's just keep doing it?
I would not be surprised if actually it would move to that.
Because, I mean, technology is pretty good now. Skype calls work very well. I've been on several where I'm a board member of the CAB and so forth up at WVU. We do Zoom, and it works out extremely well.
Right.
Easy to use, very user friendly. So those kind of things are more the norm. Because I mean, why would I drive 3 hours to Morgantown when we can just Zoom meeting it, and we have people from all over the state?
Right.
So that might become, honestly, 3 years ago I would have said, nah, that's hogwash. I want to be there in person to shake your hand, kick your foot,
right?
Whatever the protocol is for that day,
right? And
sit down across from you and have that discussion. Now.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see this become the new norm, because just from a financial standpoint of all the money the companies would save, plus a preventative measure of why take the chance of having patient zero come in and cough and hack and blow their nose all over and infect the entire office. So,
Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this to follow up on that. For your business, I know you remoted into my computer last week to fix one of my issues.
Right.
Are you seeing that? Are people more accepting of that now? And do you use that more and more than you have in, say, in the past couple of years?
Yeah, we use it more and more just from our standpoint of speed of response time and resolving the issue.
Yeah.
Our office is only 3 miles away from your office.
Right.
So,
But still, you're right. You called me, or I called you and said, hey, Joe, I'm having this problem. And 2 minutes later, you were logged in and fixed it, and you were done in 5 minutes.
Right.
Versus you wouldn't have even been able to get here. But I mean, I know it's only 3 miles, by the time you got your stuff, come out the car.
Right.
Find a place to park.
Right, yeah. So there's 5 minutes of drive time right there.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. But, with
I guess my real question is, are people more accepting of that? I mean, I know I'm comfortable with you doing work on my computer and doing it remotely. It's perfectly fine, but are people more accepting here in the last year or two?
Yeah, just from the standpoint of I need it fixed now.
Right.
So the urgency of it is there, and actually from our standpoint now here lately with the whole coronavirus and all that, it's less likely to, we're less likely to deal with offices that have people with just what I like to call the crud.
Oh yeah, here locally the crud and flu A and B are gone around like crazy. It's decimated in our schools,
right?
Our daycares and so forth. It's just been rough. People have really been beat up by it,
right? So we kind of had the benefit of, kind of isolating ourselves. Yes, we still support you, and still come on site if needed. But if it's something we can take care of remotely, then by all means, we can take care of remotely and not have to expose our office to that.
Well, speaking of that, so Taylor, you're at the high school every day. Have you noticed, what would you say the worst part of when the flu hit the school, how much population was missing? Did you notice anything?
Oh my gosh, yeah. A bunch of my friends had it, and there was maybe 20 people missing from each grade. It's
So
just
each
so bad.
and that's at the worst. Have you noticed it getting better now and more people coming back to school?
Oh yeah, it's definitely gotten better now that it's starting to warm up just like a little bit. But like well, like I said before, it was just terrible because like most of these like kids, they just don't understand the importance of washing your hands.
Oh,
And
yeah. Well,
just,
kids will be kids. You
yeah,
know.
staying home when you're sick and not
Yeah.
coming to school.
Well, did you go to school sick at all because of the not have to take your finals deal?
No, I did not.
So that
Well,
didn't impact
actually,
you?
no, I take that back. I had a cold.
Had a cold, but you
Like
still
a
came because you
runny
wanted to
nose,
meet
yeah.
the attendance requirements.
I did, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, is the coronavirus something you guys talk about at the high school?
Yeah, but I mean, we're not too worried about it until there's something that.
Till it hits immediate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So. I
So
mean,
you guys
we're
are still
calm.
joking around about it? It's still a joke, right?
Well, it's not really a joke, but like I don't know, we're just kind of
Well-
going with the flow.
When I was up here Tuesday before the meeting started, we were the kids were joking about the coronavirus, you know, because it seems so far away. I didn't know if that become
Yeah.
more real now that there are cases in the U.S. and so forth. But you guys
Yeah.
probably don't watch the news anyway, right?
Oh yeah, we do. Like
Okay.
we keep up with it, but like once it hit the U.S., some kids were like, "Oh, okay, so this
Might be a little more
serious."
scary. Okay.
So
All right. Well, just checking the local vibe at the high school. Taylor's a senior up at the high school, so we get all our news from her about
There we go.
the new trends or the old trends at the high school. So, all right. Well, thank you, Taylor. All right. So back to the coronavirus. So what kind of impact, part two here, are
Okay.
you predicting it's going to be the next big issue?
Well, the next big issue is here's how far out companies are even looking. Google is their big I/O event, which is their big news conference celebration event, which is not until May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Google is actually going ahead and saying that they are canceling their biggest event of the year, which is the Google I/O, because it concerns the coronavirus, because of just the message.
That's 3 months.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, I did see a little bit on like the Olympics in Tokyo. I'm not even sure when the Olympics are. I'm assuming I think it's the summer, right? Or
It'll be the Summer Olympics, yes.
okay, so Summer Olympics would be June,
June,
July.
yeah.
So they're 4 or 5 months out. So that makes sense. If Google's starting to look 3 months, the Olympics are looking 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, so Google states that they're still going to have the event, but the physical portion where you can go in there and you can touch all the new devices and you can meet new people.
They're going to be behind glass walls.
Yeah. Well, they're not even. You're not coming. You
Oh, really?
Right. Yes. Yeah. The physical
Wow.
portion of the event is canceled.
Just canceled altogether.
Yeah, and it's going to be it was going to have it back over in May 12th through the 14th, so everybody can still watch it online and still participate online. But as far as coming in and shaking hands and touching all that stuff,
Done
no
and
go.
done.
Yes.
Boy, that's going to have some scary ramifications. Same thing we talked about. If people aren't going to those towns, they're not investing money, they're not spending their money there, those towns are going to really struggle because they base their budget around those events.
Right. And these were yearly events. I mean, these
Wow.
weren't just pop-up events
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of nowhere.
So they're already looking at that in their budget. So it'll be interesting to see how the towns and entities involved try to recover from that.
Right.
The lack of having that.
Right.
Okay. Wow. All right. Man, that's scary stuff. This is a gloom and doom show today, Joe.
I know. I'm sorry.
You got something good for number two?
Well, for
Part
number
here?
two, not so good on Apple, but on the consumer side.
On the consumer
yes.
side? All right.
Yeah, so Apple may actually owe you some money. If you're an iPhone user, you may possibly have some money coming your way.
Nice. I am not an iPhone or a Mac user at all. But Taylor said she was,
Yes.
but she didn't fit inside this because you had what type of phone, Taylor?
an iPhone X.
Okay, so what does qualify?
Okay. Well, Taylor, did you ever own an iPhone 6, iPhone 7, or an iPhone SE?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so this qualifies you.
Yeah, and my brother has an iPhone 6. Now
Okay,
I think
so
about it. So,
so
yeah.
perfect. So you may have some money coming to you.
All right. Are you going to tell your brother about that, or are you just going to claim it?
I could be like, I could go complain for him, and then I could take
There
the
you
fine.
go.
Processing
You got
fee.
college to pay for here shortly. You better
Yeah.
start looking out. Yeah.
Okay, so if you had those phones and they received an update back in December 2017, this may qualify you. And Apple's agreed to pay a preliminary settlement of $500 million as part of a class action lawsuit that alleged the company released software to intentionally slow down the iPhones through their battery.
Really?
Yes.
Why would they do that?
well, it's all marketing. Oh, my phone's slowed down. I have to have the new model because this one's so slow.
It's the marketing against themselves.
Exactly.
Holy cow. That's smart marketing in some ways, but as soon as it gets out, everybody hates you.
Yeah. Now, Apple to this day still says, "Oh, that wasn't our intent. That was just a flaw in the software." Yeah, right.
I was going to say, take it by your tone there. You're not buying.
No, I'm not buying it.
Now, did you have an iPhone back then?
Not at that point, no.
Okay.
Cena still did, but I did not.
Okay, Cena. Yeah, that's a good point. You're bringing Cena into the conversation. She is the boss behind the scenes, doing all the heavy lifting. So, Cena, thank you for all your hard work.
Right, absolutely.
Keeping Joe in the straight and narrow.
Exactly. That's a tough job.
I remember we used to argue about that in our earlier shows. Not argue, but I used to give Cena a hard time because she was an iPhone user and you and I were Android users.
Right.
Now, do you have iPhone now, or are you Android?
No. I'm still Android.
Still Android, okay.
No, Cena's still on iPhone.
Split household.
Well, for now, she is slowly starting to come over to the Android side. She just has not,
pulled the trigger yet?
Yeah,
you haven't.
But I almost have her converted.
You haven't messed up her phone enough to make her
not
want to
yet.
switch. No. After she what did she say when she said, "Okay, they're intentionally slowing down my phone"?
She was.
Did
mad,
she notice it?
Yes, she did, and that was one of the big issues that not only she experienced, but we had all kinds of. I mean, you would not believe the number of customers we had calls from. My phone slowed down and it's not working right.
So it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah, and the first question we asked, "Did you update?" Yes, I did.
Ooh.
Okay, it's a bug in
something in the update.
Yes, but we told our customers at the time. It's an issue. Apple's aware of it. Just wait for a fix. And that was literally all the information we had. There was literally, from our standpoint, nothing we could do.
So, Taylor, did you notice your iPhone back in however long
about 3 years ago?
Did you notice anything slowing down and get aggravated with your phone?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It wouldn't be, like, constantly, but every once in a while, like, something that's been working forever would just
slow down, drag its feet?
Yeah, it would, like, freeze and, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, 2 folks here in town noticed it. So, and if you're not aware, this is coming from Spencer, West Virginia, small town here, where apparently there are some iPhone users.
Yeah, so if small towns are noticing it, it's bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're normally 7 years behind everything.
Right.
So it doesn't get here. Whatever trend or fashion there is, we get it 7 years later, but unless you're an iPhone user, and then it hit immediately.
Right.
Oh, boy. Okay. So how big a factor was that for Cena saying, all right, maybe I am going to switch to Android?
Well, at that point she was still on the Apple train, so there was a minor inconvenience, but now that she's actually seen what all Android does, that's what's kind of sold her on the idea.
Well, and that's my wife and I talked about it. Why is there such this thing between Apple and Android, and what the big deal is, and what you pay for, and all that. And I just said, listen, Joe's using Android still, so I'm sticking with it. I trust his judgment. I said I don't know about Cena, but I'm glad to hear that she's coming to the dark side.
Well, for us, it's actually worked out better at being a split house, just from a support standpoint.
Yes,
she has all Apple cover, and I have all Android cover, so it kind of worked out well for us.
And I remember that was the deal back, 4 or 5 years ago when we talked about it. Not even that long, 2 years ago, when we talked about it. It was the fact that you had the benefit of seeing both sides.
Right.
So as technology gurus, that's important to you.
Right.
All right, so you're going to make her stay with the iPhone?
No. She still has her iPad.
Sorry, Cena, you don't get to upgrade yet.
No, she still loves her iPad, and honestly, when it comes to tablets, I still prefer an iPad over an Android. But for phones, just for the phones, Android for personal preference is one over.
So go a little more in depth in this. I feel like you said that there's a class action lawsuit.
Right.
What do people do?
Well, as of right now, as of today, Apple has not officially announced how people can file claims to get their money.
What kind of money are we talking?
$25, but this is kind of like going back to the whole Equifax issue over the summer. A lot of people said, when Equifax got hit with that lawsuit, you could get $125. Well, here's how class action lawsuits work. And the only reason I learned this is, when I jumped through the hoops through the Equifax deal, the $25 is up to a certain point.
Right.
If they have X number of people file a claim, you'll get $25. If you get more than that,
then it keeps rationing down. Yeah, they're just estimating this amount will be affected.
Right.
And,
so it's not a signed, seal guaranteed.
Taylor, you may only get like $5. Sorry. Yeah. It's not going to go very far for college.
Hey, it'll get me a snack.
Focus on the benefits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In a high school kid, that's important stuff there.
It's a gallon of gas. That'll get you.
Exactly.
All right. Well, craziness. Okay, so where do people go to get this information? How they know if they're involved? Kind of go over the details, I guess.
The kicker of it is this is so new that Apple hasn't officially announced anything
Right,
yet.
and you just said that. Okay, so
Right.
there's nothing out there. You just got to kind of sit and wait, know that you
Right.
might be inside that parameter. And
Apple may take the foresight to actually email their users. This is pure
Never know.
speculation on my part at this point, but keep listening to the podcast, and as soon as we find out, we'll announce it.
Okay.
So hopefully by next week we'll have an announcement.
Nice. Well, this has been a really good show. You've done a couple of things here. One, you've helped out our local users or whoever's listening to this, helping out the consumer. And for those that aren't familiar with her, familiar with you, A&M Digital Technologies operates out of Spencer, West Virginia here, but you do a lot of work in multiple states. And talk a little bit about some of the other stuff you do. You're involved with not only big corporations, but also small businesses, and then also nonprofits like ourselves. And then you do some work on the side for
Home-based users.
Yeah, home-based. There you go.
Yeah.
You put it better than I do. So you give this spiel.
Yeah, we cover a wide range of technology. We started out, with computer repairs and sales and all that. We still do that. We do computer sales and service, printer sales and service, website design, home video, and home picture digitalization.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we had some people, you were talking to them in our office about that. That's a really handy service you don't see very often.
Yeah, and it's really neat. I had my parents' wedding photo, and I scanned it, and with the software and the technology we have, it color enhances it. So
Nice.
it made it better than the original. I mean, it made those colors pop tremendously.
Yeah.
So we do that. Like I said, we do website design. One other service we do a lot of locally is video game console repair.
Yeah, nice.
And we do some electronic work as well, depending on what it is. Basically, and home security, home surveillance, that's been a really big...
You do a lot of that work for us in our daycares. We have cameras everywhere just
Right.
for protection, and you do a lot of that.
Yeah, we do that with homes, small businesses, nonprofits, churches, organizations. I mean, a lot of places. That's the real big kick here lately is going to...
And now you've expanded into podcasting and broadcasting.
Right, yeah.
Which you did broadcasting before, but now it's taken another step here.
Yeah, this is a lot more professional setup than what we had, but
Yeah. And then internet radio, of course, is your new frontier.
Right,
So
yeah.
You've been part of that program.
Yeah,
here
we
for
always
us, so.
we kind of keep up with the tides. We change with the
Yeah.
tides. That was the thing when we started years ago. It was, we was just going to do this, and this, and as the trends change, you got to kind of keep up with the pace. And like cell phone and tablet repair.
Yeah.
I never dreamed I would be replacing iPhone screens and working on iPads. That's something I never imagined on doing when I took classes in high school 15 years ago.
Yeah. You're getting old, Joe.
I know.
And technology's getting better.
I know. So,
But I got to agree, and I will say you and Cena are pretty driven, and you have a youngster.
yes.
So, I'm sure she keeps you at the forefront of technology because for
absolutely.
her own benefit, you guys have to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's one aspect I like. You guys are at the forefront of everything that happens. And it makes it really nice. I will say it's always nice for me when I say, man, there's something wrong with my computer. I pick up my phone, Joe. And as easy as last week, you remote in, fix it in 5 minutes, I'm back in business.
Yeah, it's we're kind of double-edged, so we're kind of the fun and not fun aunt and uncle when it comes to the nieces and nephews because their mom and dads are like, okay, the kid's got this, and this. How can we keep an eye on things? Oh, you need this. So.
Oh, yeah. Neat role to have. All right, well, what's next? Do you have any plans for next week, or what have you been looking at lately?
Let's just
what's
see.
new on the frontier? Coronavirus just eating everything up?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. That and maybe... because we're kind of running out of time today, so we'll pick up. Last week we talked about backing up our computers.
The backup.
So next
Did
week,
you get a good response? Did you get any response?
so far no response, but the podcast is still new, still young, still fresh.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
So next week we'll talk about backing up iPhones, and then the week after that we'll talk about backing up
Right.
Android devices.
Well, you had a lot of views on our Facebook page, and it's always hard to tell if people are just watching because, there's several reasons. They could be bored. They could just like to hear what's new with technology, or they could say, well, I have an issue, and I want to correct it. Or the fourth scenario is, wow, that pertains to me, so I'm definitely going to be involved and do something about it.
Right. Well, no, I actually did see. We actually received a new follower on YouTube, and they actually commented and said that they really enjoyed what we was doing. So
Nice.
So we are getting responses back.
Good deal. Well, this has been brought to you by A&M Digital Technologies, and of course we're here with Joe, and I'm going to let Taylor go ahead and end out our podcast here, and make sure you tune in for more. So, Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Taylor, and you've been listening to Help Desk with Joe, with Patch Turned Up. Stay tuned in for more podcasts, music, news, and updates from our Patch students. Patch, community and children first.